Before we begin, what if one sentence you heard as a child is still controlling your confidence today? Most people never realize it because emotional wounds don't appear overnight. They quietly become the voice inside your head. Think of one sentence someone said to you as a child, just one. You probably haven't heard it in years. Yet somehow, you still remember it. Why? Because children don't simply hear words. They build their identity from them. Psychologists have found that the messages we hear repeatedly during childhood often become our inner voice, shaping our confidence, relationships, and self-worth long into adulthood. The surprising part? Most parents don't say these things to be cruel. They're simply repeating the parenting they experienced themselves. Today, you'll discover 8 toxic phrases that can quietly shape a child's future, and the psychology behind why they stay with us for years. Stay until number 8, because it's one of the most common phrases parents say, yet one of the most emotionally damaging. Let's begin. Number 1. Why can't you be more like your brother, or your sister, or your cousin? Comparison may sound like motivation, but to a child, it sends a completely different message. Who I am isn't enough. Instead of discovering their own strengths, they begin chasing someone else's identity. Psychologists explain that constant comparison weakens self-esteem because children start believing love and approval must be earned through competition rather than simply being themselves. Number 2. You always mess everything up. Children learn through mistakes. That's how confidence grows. But labels change everything. There's a huge difference between saying, you made a mistake, and saying, you always mess everything up. Eventually, the child no longer believes they made a mistake. They begin believing they are the mistake. Psychologists call this identity-based thinking, and it often creates fear of failure, perfectionism, and self-doubt that can last well into adulthood. Number 3. Stop crying. Imagine a child falling off a bicycle. They're frightened, their eyes fill with tears. Instead of hearing, "Are you okay?" they hear, "Stop crying." Over time, the lesson isn't just about tears. It's about emotions. Children begin believing sadness, fear, and vulnerability should stay hidden. Psychologists call this emotional suppression, which is one reason many adults struggle to express their feelings or ask for help when they need it most. Number 4. Because I said so. Children ask questions because they're curious. They're trying to understand the world around them. But when every question ends with, because I said so, curiosity slowly becomes silence. Instead of learning how to think, children learn to obey without understanding. Years later, many adults constantly doubt their own judgment and wait for someone else's approval before making even simple decisions. Number 5. Don't embarrass me. Imagine hearing those words before every family gathering, every school event, every birthday party. Instead of enjoying the moment, the child becomes focused on avoiding mistakes. Every word, every action, every expression feels risky. Psychologists believe this fear of embarrassment can contribute to perfectionism and social anxiety. Instead of expressing themselves, children slowly begin hiding themselves. But the next phrase is even more dangerous because millions of parents say it every single day without realizing the damage. Number 6. You'll never be good enough. Sometimes these words are spoken directly. Sometimes they're hidden inside constant criticism. No matter how hard the child tries, nothing feels like enough. Eventually, the loudest critic isn't the parent anymore. It's the voice inside their own head. That's why even highly successful adults often feel like they're failing. Not because they actually are, but because that childhood voice never truly disappeared. Number 7. I do everything for you. Parents sacrifice a lot, that's true. But when love is constantly connected with guilt, children begin believing affection must be earned. As adults, they become people pleasers. They struggle to say no. They apologize too often. They put everyone else's needs before their own, not because they're weak, but because they learned that love always comes with a price. Number 8. You're fine. This phrase sounds harmless. A child gets hurt. They're scared. They're overwhelmed. Instead of being asked, how do you feel? They're told, you're fine. Sometimes they are. But when emotions are repeatedly dismissed, children stop trusting their own feelings. Psychologists call this emotional invalidation. Instead of asking, what am I feeling? They begin asking, should I even feel this? And that confusion can quietly follow them into adulthood, affecting relationships, confidence, and emotional well-being. Before blaming your parents, remember this. Most parents truly love their children. Many simply repeat the words they heard growing up. That's how emotional patterns pass from one generation to the next. but awareness can break the cycle. Your childhood may explain who you became, but it doesn't have to decide who you'll become next. Every healthy belief begins by replacing an unhealthy one. So if one of these phrases felt painfully familiar, don't ask, "What's wrong with me?" Ask, "What belief am I finally ready to leave behind?" Because healing doesn't begin when your past changes. It begins the moment you stop letting yesterday control tomorrow. If this video helped you understand yourself a little better, subscribe to The Hidden Mind for more psychology videos every week. And remember, your parents may have written your first chapter, but you are the one who writes the ending.